Welcome back. Mike Max, Don for a day on 830 News Radio WCCO. Dan Cook at the dials, Jim Erickson putting this whole thing together, and I'm very excited about this hour. In the studio with us, President of the Minnesota Timberwolves Chris Wright, Vice President, Minnesota Wild Bill Robertson, Vice President, Minnesota Twins Patrick Klinger, Vice President, Minnesota Vikings Steve LaCroix. And there is so much to talk about and really so little time. This should be a 3-hour show just to this. It's E-Day, so we talk about the economics, and we did environmental in the first hour. But so much that comes together here when you talk about the economy and sports, particularly in this town, which is a great town, but it'd be considered a fringe major market, yet it has all the teams, so the challenges are right there in front of us. Gentlemen, first of all, thanks for coming in.
Great to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me start with this one. Chris Wright, Al Jefferson, best player on your team. You're building through it. No question what you're trying to do. He's out for the season. How do you then try to re-engage the fans or reinvigorate them when that big piece of the puzzle is gone?
Well, we're in the middle of a 3-year sort of rebuild of our franchise anyway, Mike, and obviously Al Jefferson is a massive, massive piece of that. Obviously, when you lose a star player like we have, it gives greater opportunity for other players that may be part of your future. It gives other players an opportunity for an extended look based on whether or not they are going to be part of our future. We've been building ever since the trade of Kevin Garnett to Boston. Accumulated some players in that deal. Obviously, Kevin Love, Mike Miller. The draft day deal that we did in the middle of this last summer. We've been accumulating draft picks. We have money coming off of our cap. So the most important thing is that we clearly do have a vision of where we want this franchise to go. Al Jefferson is going to be part of that long term. We've got to make sure that we continue to communicate very, very clearly to our fans that he is going to be part of it, that we are still on a path to where we want to go, and that we have accumulated the other pieces that allow us to put a competitive team together in the future.
Bill Robertson, Marion Gabrick's out at least for an extended period of time, but you're in the playoff hunt. How is it that you sell? Has the Wild's philosophy always been you sell a team versus players, or not necessarily so?
Well, I think from the club's inception, the general manager and president, Doug Risebrough, and then the initial owner, Bob Nagley, and now Craig Leopold have always talked about not necessarily selling individual players, but selling the whole team experience and that environment. And we've always kept to that philosophy. It isn't about one player or two players. It's about this whole team. And not only that, but it's also the team of 18,000, the fan base as well, which is so important to our success.
Patrick Klinger, it's an interesting year for the Twins because it's their last year in the Metrodome. As the marketing person, how do you try to take advantage of the Metrodome? We've all kind of said you need a different stadium, you need this and that, so it's a building that we haven't exactly crowned as a baseball jewel, and yet is this seen as an opportunity, a window to say we've still had a lot of good times in here, or how do you position it?
That's absolutely the case, Mike. For an entire generation of Twins fans, even more than that, really, the Metrodome has been home for Twins baseball. It's the only place that Kirby Puckett played for the organization. It's where we won 2 world championships. It's where we won 4 division titles. And so for our fans, it is a special place in many ways. So we will celebrate throughout the 2009 year, all the great things that have occurred at the Metrodome, all the great memories. We'll look back. We'll commemorate the unique experiences that have taken place there. And then it's time to, frankly, move on to outdoor baseball and Target Field.
Steve LaCroix, we were talking last week over there at East Cliff where the Vikings and University of Minnesota came together for a Children's Front celebration, and we were talking about hits that different organizations and leagues take, and you said the one that you monitor closely right now is merchandise, i.e. jerseys, whatnot, in terms of that might have the biggest hit or most measurable for the league during these economic down times. How big a piece of the pie is that? How important is it, and what has the league seen?
Well, it's substantial not only financially but from a branding standpoint. To lose possibly the jersey sales, and we all know that when people come to NFL games, they want to show their colors, and instead of upgrading to that jersey of a new free agent acquisition or whatever player it may be, they may break out the old one from the closet and make it last another year. And so we share the revenues amongst the 32 clubs in the NFL, so it's really a joint effort. It's not our top revenue stream, but it's one that's very important to us.
Chris Wright, when you look at the Timberwolves, given the fact that the Twins are about to go into a new stadium, the Minnesota Wild have the XL, which is relatively new. We know what the Vikings are trying to do. The Target Center looks a little bit antiquated because of probably by comparison more so than anything else. How much credence do you put in the importance of a building, or do you think if you have a good product, the building becomes really secondary?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of everything. It's a combination of your team and its competitiveness. I think it's the fan experience that you can create. And, if you go back to the Chicago Bulls, when they played in their old arena, Boston Celtics played in their old arena, everybody would say that was one of the greatest experiences in professional NBA basketball. And obviously we're not quite there yet in terms of the age of Target Center, but I think it's all about as much as you want new benefits, amenities for your fans, they want to enjoy those. It's really incumbent on us as a franchise to create an atmosphere and an experience, for all of our fans inside of that arena that they want to participate in and therefore want to come back.
Chris Wright, Bill Robertson, Patrick Klinger, Steve LaCroix, all in studio for a great hour here, economics and how it affects our sports landscape. Coming up, we'll discuss season tickets, corporate sponsorships, salaries, and much more. They're all on the front page these days. It's 4:19, cloudy and 34 degrees, the Twin Cities. Mike Max in for Don Shelby on E-Day. We're looking at the economy this hour and how it's affecting professional sports. More to come right here on the Don Shelby Show on News Radio 830 WCCO.